Hello and welcome to another Inspirational Sunday Sessions. As your hostess with the mostess is me, Lisa Vigor, and I'd love to welcome you, my guest. Oops, sorry, I just turned that bit back in there. I don't hope they didn't pick it up. But anyway, I'd like to welcome a beautiful guest, Talia, who is a singer-songwriter, musician, uh, singer-songwriter, musician, and she's a busker and workshop facilitator. And yeah, I met Talia when I was through lockdown doing a course with Jo Valentina Sinclair, and we were learning about how to make our workspace more beneficial. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of feedback here. I hope that's not coming out. But but anyway, yeah. So we just been working with her on seeing her musical journey as well as her seeing my musical journey. So anyway, instead of me blabbering on, let me bring forth Talia. Oh, you're here already, yeah. Sorry, I messed that up. I've got you on the screen already, so you're here. I was meant to take you off the screen, I forgot. Oh, silly me, silly me. How are you, Talia?
I'm really good, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me on today. Thank you
Oh,
so
you're
much.
very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Me.
Oh, pleasure. Pleasure.
So, have you been enjoying the sunshine? I thought we had beautiful weather lately.
Yes, you cannot say no to the sunshine. Definitely, I've really been enjoying it. Playing in places where I can actually catch some sun. So I think got a bit of colour there.
Yeah, you're golden there, haven't you? You've got a golden glow.
Golden glow. There we go. So yes, definitely enjoying the summer. Thank
Cool.
you.
So, Talia, tell us a little bit about your musical journey. Like, where did it all start for you?
I think my musical journey kind of started when I was 7 years old. Although music had always been present in my life, because my dad plays an instrument which is similar to the accordion and it's called the concertina, and it's a bit like an Irish squeeze box. So that had always
Mhm.
been present in my life.
Yeah.
My father learnt by ear back in Portugal, and he would just play his little mini concertina at home. So since I guess I was a baby, and then at 7 years old, I got taken to an accordion shop, and my dad asked me if I wanted to play the accordion. And because I loved music so much, I just said yes straight away. I didn't
Yeah.
hesitate. And I've always loved singing, like, singing at school, singing in the playground, singing at church, because I was also brought up in a church, great, going to church every week. And I'd always be I'd love to go to, be part of the choir as well. And at school, we were also next to Westminster Cathedral, so we'd always like sing. So yeah,
Oh,
music,
Westminster.
Westminster
West,
Cathedral,
yeah, what was that like?
beautiful. It was really beautiful, and yeah, I guess I was quite young that I actually ended up playing in the cathedral, like for the Holy Communions and stuff. That was really nice. But also just singing, like being part of the mass and just singing, like next to all the other kids. It was just so much fun.
Yeah.
And then it was also present because of my Portuguese background. So I've always had like crazy aunties and uncles dancing and singing at home. So we'd
Oh,
all gather together, and my dad would be like, "Go get the accordion," and then I'd get the accordion, and then we'd also go back to Portugal like every year and spend like about 6 weeks in Portugal,
wow.
and to festivals and be part of festivals. And yeah, it was really good. It was really fun. And yeah.
'Cause some always been a big part of your life. Has it always been like that? So you were like playing with your family, and has it always been there?
Yeah, I would say it's always been there. I've always kind of been asked to play, and I don't know, I always get a kick out of performing for people, you know? I always think
Mm,
there's so much joy in someone singing something, someone playing something, and then everyone, like the reaction of people is to get up and dance and be happy. And I just love
yeah.
what music can do, as you know yourself, you know. It's just so magical and can put us in a really good mood, you know.
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, so recently you've been busking in London, which is so fabulous. I think it takes a lot of guts as well. Like, how have you been finding that?
yeah, so I mean, I've been busking since the age of 17, and then
Oh, wow.
just before the lockdown, I got accepted into Network Rail, and Network Rail have opened up Euston and King's Cross,
Mm,
and I've I've been finding it really cool because it's really a safe space to perform, like rather than like fighting for your own space. And not that you always had to fight for a space, but you do feel a
mm.
lot safer, like with the security guards around, and people are normally behaving, and that's what I'm seeing on the streets. It's at the stations that we're playing outside, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So hold
I've
on a
done
minute, Dali. Like, so when you started when you were 17, um, what's it like busking now compared to
yeah.
then?
Well,
Is it
busking
different?
was illegal.
What's
busking
that
then
story?
busking was actually illegal on the tubes, and on the
Oh,
train.
was it?
Yeah. So then
Oh
I think,
my God.
yeah, I think it was, it's the name of a beer company, or Guinness or Carlsberg, not sure. But they then funded
Mm,
and worked with the tube, the
right.
underground, to then
Mm,
have space and actually space on the tube for buskers to perform. But when I started busking, we used to have like a poster, you know, like you get
mm,
posters, and the buskers used to write in their time slots. So we used to go like 10 to 12, it's this person, 12 to 2, it's this. So there was always like a
yeah.
mutual respect and understanding between all the buskers. So that was kind of cool.
Mm.
And then there was
So
always
it's
a thing
like
like
community. It was quite a community then.
pretty much between, you know, and a nice kind of friendship between everyone.
Mm,
Nobody really, not, I didn't ever experience
hmm.
that. And what else? And now we kind of have this, like, you know, Busk in London, who are also, I guess they're supporting musicians that basically want to get heard and just love busking. And I think for me, that's, I really love busking because I think
Mm.
it's, first of all, it's a very vulnerable thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then second of all, you really, I don't know, you become your best self in a way. Like you're so raw that that's literally all you have to give. And then
Mm,
in that rawness, you get so much back. And I get so much
yeah,
goodness back that it weighs off any negative stuff that could ever happen, you know. So it's a really beautiful feeling.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's
Have you?
great. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, I was going to ask you, have you ever busked?
I have. I find it very like, oh my God, so scary. Yeah, but it's yeah, once a long time ago and recently. But no, it's good. You do get a good reaction, and no, it has been cool. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Nice.
So recently, you've been working with Cat's Cradle Collective.
Yes, I have. So it was
And who
during,
are
I think,
they?
Cat's Cradle Collective are an ensemble, so a string ensemble, um, and basically they had initiative like during lockdown to be part of a, well, to welcome in a competition to composers of Portuguese background. So I guess I would consider that myself because I've, my two parents are from Portugal, and it was
Mhm.
also based on traditional folk music and how we would compose a music around that and arrange it. And then
Right.
so I entered the competition and I won. So I think we were five people that got through, five composers.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I won the competition, and then because of that, they then had another. Well, actually, we got radio play, which was really cool, on a
Mhm.
radio station in London for the Portuguese community. That
Right.
happened. I think we got radio play already in Portugal as well, on a Portuguese national channel there. And then, say, like a few months down the line, the guy who runs Cat's Cradle, Antonio Dantas, then had
Mm.
an idea where we composers could go to the Portuguese embassy and perform our pieces with the ensemble live. So that was an amazing experience. Yeah, and I had to. There was a bit where I had to also talk about the background of this song and how it was related to how my grandma used to sing that song in the fields in Portugal while waiting
Okay.
for my granddad at the time that was in the army to come back. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so there's a
There's a lot of
lovely,
history as well in that.
yeah,
So it's
and that's
going
what
back
I love,
through the mm.
definitely.
Like music, it's amazing how music brings people together and communities together and kind of teaches you, you know, where you come from and the history with that. And it's yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's really
there's
something
a
so
link to
powerful.
yeah, there's a link to our tradition, to our culture, to our
Mm.
language, or even language is in an actual song, or a poem from like way before, that's been written by God knows, how who wrote it and stuff. Like, I mean, it's so beautiful. You can listen to a story and the history of people through songs, and
Mm.
that's really captivating. And I think accordion is another thing that also links me to my Portuguese background. It's like
Hmm.
such a traditional instrument back in the north of Portugal. And that again
Right.
also tells a bit of the history where, even people that used to, my dad said, like when he used to go and have the olive oil made from the olives, it was like
Right.
quite a process for it to be like pressed, the olives to be pressed. So
Hmm.
imagine the rural northern Portugal, um, back in the days, and it's like that's literally people's lives that lived in the countryside. They pick the olives, go to the main people that press the olives, and
Right.
while they're waiting for the olive oil to be made, there was so much time that the people would actually get their accordions, concertinas out and sing and play. You know what I mean? So there was all this
Mm.
music around the actual
Oh
activity.
no.
So that's
Mm.
what I'm thinking it. So music has always been present in
Yeah.
various activities, and that's what I love to
Mm.
find out about.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's just yeah, powerful. Wow, cool. So over lockdown, you started off telegrams and it was so sweet. Like so yeah, talk a little bit about your telegrams.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I think that just accidentally kind of happened when
Okay.
someone had asked me to perform for their loved one, on the internet. And then I was like, oh, that's amazing. So I did it through WhatsApp where I dedicated this one song to this girl's boyfriend, who
Hmm.
she said she really loves so much. And I was like, oh, that's such a cool idea to do. And then Valentine's also came, and then I ended up doing like a whole day of taliograms where I dedicated one or two songs to
Yeah.
the loved ones. And I think at that time, because it was lockdown, it really worked so well because I think people were like missing that kind of
Mm.
like spontaneity and live music in their
Well,
life.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that really it cheered them up and it cheered me up because I was doing what
Mm.
I love. As a musician, Lisa, it was quite difficult in lockdown to keep the momentum. Um,
Yeah, yeah, for
when there's no
sure.
live gigs going around, you're like, what do
Mm.
I do? Like, how is this is soul killing? Like I've got to do music somehow and keep
Mm.
life in it, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely. So you sing in well, Portuguese and English and Spanish? Is
Yeah,
this yeah,
English
so that's
and
what
Spanish.
do you yeah, what do you find it easy to transfer into different languages into those languages?
Yeah, I don't mind so much at all because, like, again, Portuguese, knowing Portuguese, my parents speak Portuguese, and then
Mm.
I went to Portuguese school and everything. So then Spanish kind of is not you know, too difficult in comparison. So I just have to change a little bit of my accent. I do, however, when I sing Spanish, if there are Spanish people, I might go a little bit red, and I'll just be like, the bad accent, wasn't it? And I'm like always looking at those Spanish people going, if they look a bit like, what is she singing? I'm like, right, I better stop this. So I
Oh,
do, if I speak Spanish, I do tend to ask them, like, how was my Spanish? And they're like, oh, it's great, like that. They're normally really nice, but I do, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Still,
I can imagine it. I mean, I don't talk any other languages apart from English, embarrassingly enough. A little bit of merci or bonjour. No,
yeah,
yeah. French, a little bit. Hola, hello, thank yous.
yeah,
But in a
yeah,
few different languages, but
that's wonderful. It's
uh,
I would love to sing in a bit like probably French, like you just mentioned. I think I'd love to sing in French, but I just find it like the accent for me is a little bit more of a struggle because I
can
really
you
like,
speak?
yeah.
Can you
Can I?
speak French?
I can speak. I can get along with French and stuff, and
Oh
I've studied.
wow,
But
okay.
I'm not practicing it all the time, and I honestly do think that I do not have the best French accent. But I think it probably sounds a bit Portuguese.
Oh, so do you, so do you think so? Like, if you were going to sing in French, do
Yeah.
you think you'd have to have the accent?
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, definitely.
So I wonder how, like, yeah, it's just intriguing, like how that works, you know. So, like I read, when you sing in Spanish, so
Yeah,
you do more of an accent to the Portuguese and then to the English.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I guess I try to feel Spanish in that moment. I do quizás siempre que te pregunto. Like I try a little bit,
Mm.
pregunto, like that.
Oh,
And
it's so
then
beautiful.
I guess Portuguese is different, yeah. And even there's a slight little difference as well in my Portuguese to the Brazilian. Because
Mm,
Brazilian, you'd almost say like it's like English and American in terms of like English is like this is how we speak, and then American has this like a bit more like that. Portuguese as well from the continent is like the English almost, I would say, and then
yeah.
you've got the Brazilian, which is a bit more like the American. So it's the same language, but they have a different intonation and
Okay.
obviously words like the girl from Ipanema. So when I even sing Brazilian, I'm always looking for Brazilians that are going to go and they're going to
Oh,
say, no, I have had Brazilian. They don't. But Brazilians that have said, "You're not from Brazil, are you?" And I'm like,
oh,
they're like, "You're from Portugal," because they can hear in the accent.
yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah.
with the Brazilian because I don't. For somehow I want to be more authentically me, so I don't
Mm,
tend to do too much of a Brazilian accent. But it's Portuguese, right? So no English person would figure
mm,
that out.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not definitely going up like into some like really Brazilian strong.
Mm. So, in your music career, you've been you're just work. So you've got your album,
Yeah. Oh
and I
yeah.
really, yeah, you and I really love your logo. Tell me a bit
To
about how you come about with your logo.
oh right, this one here.
And yeah,
Um,
and yeah, it's a great cover.
Thank you. Yeah, I always just had it in my mind that it was going to be kind of childlike, this whole album, in terms of how it looks. So I'm on a swing and it's childlike, and then at the back you can see that I'm on the back of the swing. But going back to the logo, that kind of organically happened. I was performing in a pub in Kingston, I think it was. Yeah, I used to perform in this pub, and
Okay.
yeah, there was a little girl. She wasn't that little. She was about 9 years old, and Lisa, all the time, she was just focused on me, like I was just playing, and she was just like, not just even focused. She was entranced. She was like in a trance. She was
Oh.
like, and I was like, oh, what a beautiful soul, you know. And I was just thinking, what a beautiful being. I just really felt her. Anyway, by the end of the night, she had her dad up singing or dancing, not singing, dancing. The mom, the grandma, and anyway, somehow I think they even phoned the restaurant and they wanted to know who I. They had gone home after. Basically, they rang the
Right.
restaurant to find who I was to get in touch with me. So I think I got a message from the the dad saying you had really made my daughter's you really made my daughter's night. And I was like, okay, in that time, space of time when he
Oh.
had messaged me, I was then in Spain, right? On a little
Mm.
mini holiday, like for a week. Anyway, as I'm seeing the message, I'm like checking, going, what does this guy do? Yeah, you know, like you can check LinkedIn and whatever. I think it was even his Facebook. And it works out that he has works with logos, but like for big companies, branding, basically.
Okay.
And so I had this kind of pull and this urge to ask him, like, would he like to do a logo for me? Would he mind? I just,
Mm.
just kind of like blurted it out.
Yeah.
I just thought, all right, just,
Sure.
you know. And he said, yes. And then I said, but I don't have money, like, because I know that you work for these massive companies. He said,
Mm.
I'll do it for free. And
Oh, wow.
what ended up happening, his little girl ended up being all, do you know what I mean, taking part in the actual design. So we called it Talia rather than Natalia, keeping it
Mhm.
small and short. Although
Yeah.
I'd always had people that were calling me Talia that were really close friends anyway,
Mm.
and I thought that, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I can't put Natalia because it's too long, but we'll keep it short. Really, thanks for liking that logo. That's really sweet that you've noticed
Yeah, I
that.
think that's a really, yeah, it's proper cool logo. I love it.
Oh,
And
thank
your
you.
website as well. So, like, if anyone wanted to get Talia's album, where can they
Yes.
get that from?
Yeah, so
So,
if you
how do
want,
they order it?
what you need to do is just basically go to my website, go right to the end of the website. There's a booking
Which it
form.
is in the description. I'll put it in the description below, by the way, everyone.
This booking form, you just fill in the booking form, send me your address, say who you are, and then there's a PayPal link right at the bottom, and I'm charging £12 for England, mainland England, UK, and that's including postage and packaging. So it's £12. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
And what kind of music is on your album? Just so that everyone knows at home. So, like, in case.
Yeah, so basically, this is my first ever album, and it has cover music. And it's got stuff like "Fly Me to the Moon," "Love Is All Around," which is one of my favorite that I always sing.
Oh,
Pizzazz, it's got a bit of Spanish, and it's got like "Living La Vida Loca," "Be My
wow,
Baby" as
cool.
well. So some fun ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so which brings me to my next question for you. So you are currently now working on another album, aren't you? Tell us a little bit how you're starting that process.
Well, the process in itself is all about planning. Like writing timelines about when the start and the finish date is, which I'm sure you know all about this, Lisa.
Yep.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, you know all about. And then I guess it's looking at my list of titles and music that I've already written. Some that I've written, some that are ideas even. So they're ideas, they're collaborations, and just working towards that basically.
Mhm.
Start this new journey of yeah, I think it's really exciting. I've already got like kind of two in the pipeline that um, are kind of already in the studio, and I can kind of already get a sound out of it.
Hmm.
More work on, but I am aiming to have 15 songs on this album. So that's my
15 songs.
15.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
this is
15.
the next
Wow.
one. Yeah. So this is what's going on.
Are you,
This
do you think you'll be writing in English, or will you be doing a little bit of both, languages, or?
yeah, I definitely want to include the Portuguese. I think that's how I feel that the way it should go. It should have definitely some Portuguese in it, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So having English,
Yeah,
Portuguese.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who are you working with? I saw a picture on your, I wasn't sure the lady that you were working with.
Uh, wait, was it Sandra?
Yeah, sorry, that's Sandra.
Yeah. So I've done one song with her. We're kind of like working on a song. Still not finished. Still needs to be produced. But
So
yeah.
tell me about your process when working with her, like a little bit, like just so we can get to know like a little bit of your process in writing songs.
I guess the process is
It's
she
always
actually
different with everyone,
yeah
I
she actually
think, but
came
it's
over.
nice to know. Yeah, sorry, cutting you a
That's
bit
all
there.
right. All right. Yeah, she actually came over to our house, and we basically we worked together in the like having ideas about the song,
Hmm.
um, kind of what it was going to be about, and then I guess we did a few verses and already a chorus in that session that we had. Yeah, I think we did one or two verses and a chorus. We already had a bit of we did have a riff on the guitar before that, and a bit of
Right.
chord going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was always there,
Hmm.
and then kind of made the first verses, worked a bit on the melody, and then she went back to Portugal, and then from there on during lockdown, we've been like having WhatsApp calls, kind of going, okay, here, and then, you know, she's maybe had to do a verse. I've done another verse, worked on a pre-chorus, done another chorus, worked on the chorus, but actually adjusted the chorus as well. It's really like
Hmm.
in the process. You think sometimes that you've mastered it and you're like, yeah, I finalized this chorus, but then
Hmm.
you like listening, reading back to it, and you're like, something's not right here. It needs to, and then you change it, as you know the process.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
The short
Um,
version.
so I think we've just thinking of what else do you want to. Oh yes, your workshops. So you've been doing busking workshops because you've got all your experience with your busking behind you, like. And when did you start your those workshops? Because they sound amazing.
I think now it's probably 4 years, four
Oh,
years.
okay.
Yeah, and those busking workshops were just also organically done. It was someone that knew me, and he knew that I was basically, um, well, I had a lot of musical experience, and then
Mm,
he asked me like, would you like to do music workshops for the company that I work for, which are called
mm,
Leaders Quest, and I ended up saying yes that I would do music workshops. But then I was thinking, I've never ran a workshop, and plus, like just music, it didn't really appeal to me. And I thought, well, a busking workshop would be cool. And funnily enough, I
mm,
had a friend as well at the time who was a busker, and she still is. And she had a lot of experience in workshops, especially with young kids as well. Anyway, we
yeah.
kind of like got together in a night and we came up, we brainstormed, we had meetings with the guys as well from the company. And then we just, brainstormed it through, to the point that we then had parts where people were inventing their own instrument out of recycled goods. So it was kind of like, look, thinking
Oh,
about your, the the world we live in. So our first busking workshop was actually for climate change leaders, which was really amazing. We had this
Oh,
one guy
wow.
who was really, yeah, oh Lisa, he was so introverted
Mm.
that he's more like a book person who would like write loads of books about everything, climate change in this case,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
he was like, I cannot. We did like nearly the whole stages of this workshop to the point where we'd have to now go on the South Bank and perform it. Right. Until that
Hmm.
point, he was fine. And then I was like, yeah, right, now we're going to get our stuff and we're going to go busking. He was like, no, I can't do it. And he kind of like froze, you know.
Oh.
And it was like, I can't, but like for me, I can laugh now. But for me, I was like, I can't believe he's not doing it. Like, this is the whole point, is to get people to busk, you know, like, why are you here? But I was also like, don't let me down, you know, like I almost felt like a letdown. But then he
Oh.
himself down in a way, it's not me. And then I was like, oh, no, he's got to do busking. But then I was like, I was also very aware of how he's feeling and what he's going through.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
somehow, when we then got to the busking spot in South Bank, everyone was getting kind of ready. It came to his part of doing it. He got up. He just got up. Did It was a beautiful day. He got up, did his I think it was like 4 lines of the one verse, said it. After, he just couldn't stop thanking me and Susanna and just saying, "Oh my
Oh.
God, I had the best time of my life. I had the best time of my life." His name is John Elkington, and he's written a whole article about the whole busking workshop, like as if he praised it so much that he ended up
Yeah.
writing. Yeah, it was
So how
amazing.
long? So how long? Like, so when he first was going to do the busking, how long
Yeah.
did you get to work with him? Was it like a day, afternoon, or?
It's literally 2 hours work, a 2 hour workshop. So you get to
Okay.
see them at the beginning of this workshop, and that's
Mm.
it. And basically, you're introduced to them. Well, you introduce, you know, yeah, obviously, I'm introduced to them. I did know a little bit about them, to be fair, because I'd
Mm.
been sent an email with their biographies. So I did get to understand a little bit about their background. So that's important for me,
Okay.
who I'm going to
Yeah.
teach and who I'm going to be, yeah, facilitating for. And it was just the most amazing experience. You know, even this one person that was like scared, so scared, and was like, no, I
Mm.
can, and then turned around. Like, I would say that turnaround took 1 minute.
Yeah. Yes, and it's such an amazing thing, isn't it, when you see someone like who, like I've had a bit of an experience of that where someone's gone up like doing the interactive open mics,
Yeah.
and like people are like, oh no, I've never written a poem, no, I can't do it. And then all of a sudden they're like inspired by some like a performer, and then
Amazing.
they write a whole poem. They're like, oh, can I go up and perform? And then they do it, and then it's just like, what?
Yes, it was wow. It is a wow. And it's
Yeah.
going out our limitations and our limits and like being vulnerable. And that's literally, I think, what we're listening to nowadays. Like there's so many podcasts about this type of thing. If you really want to listen, you know, on Spotify, like people talking about like overcoming our fears, going over
Mm.
our vulnerabilities, you know, and that's literally what I've always felt about busking. Like every time I go busking, Lisa, I'm so nervous. Like I literally, it's almost like I can't breathe, and I'm like I really feel like calling someone. I'm like, am I going to call someone, you know, and just get
Mm.
pumped up. I don't. And I'm like, no, I'm old enough to just go, I can do it. And when I
Mm.
do, like, the first note when I'm on, I'm just like, okay, I'm in. But
Mm.
sometimes it takes me longer to get in. Sometimes I'm right in. Sometimes because the situations are different. Sometimes people aren't even listening, or you think that they're not listening. So we're making all these stories up in our head saying they're not listening. It's absolutely not true as well. Because I've sat where buskers have performed
Mhm.
and I'm in the audience and I'm like, just because I'm not looking doesn't mean I'm not listening or feeling it. I actually
Yeah.
think I'm the person that doesn't have to look. I just need to like hear it and I'm feeling it. rather than looking.
Mm.
I don't feel it. It's more like I listen to something and I feel it. So there's all these like little, things.
Yeah, I think it's just allowing space, isn't it? Hi, Carol. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't see your early message. Sorry. Thank you. I didn't see your message. I don't know what's happened there, but anyway, Carol says hi.
Being here.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah. So we're saying about the busking and the space. I think, and like nervousness, but I think if you allow it the space in within yourself, like the breathing, because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're scared, you forget, don't you, to breathe. You're like
Yeah.
almost, and it's like, oh, actually, I need to breathe. And if
Yeah.
you allow that space and then go with that feeling that you were saying, you can just go and perform, your best.
Definitely. I've even tried this time round. Funnily enough, you've mentioned about breathing. Something I learned in yoga is you
Mhm.
breathe one, two, three, four. You hold, and then you let go for six. One, two, three, four, five, six. So you breathe in,
Okay.
hold, and then breathe out. And you keep doing it. You start to almost you
Yeah,
oxygenate your
yeah,
and your body and
yeah.
your cells.
I probably should have done that at the start of this show.
I should have divided
I
us.
don't know, I forgot because I think I was like, and then I done it a bit wrong at the beginning. I was like, oh God,
No.
oh there we go. Like, yes. So, but we're going through a learning curve, and you just got to, you know, do it, and yeah.
Absolutely. And if there are tools that help us, then why not use those tools, right? Like
Mm,
because I play the accordion, my back also sometimes feels a bit stiff after I've played like for 2 hours, you know? So I've incorporated yoga into my life and I just
hmm.
really feel yoga or any type of stretch, I guess, that you can do for your back, maybe even
Yeah.
yoga times, starts to build your body. So you can literally build your muscle,
Mm,
and I think yeah, we all have the tools. We do have the tools around, and it's
yeah,
just
and
about
it's
finding them.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's so important. It's the self-care that goes with it. So it's not just about the performance, it's the practice. You have to put the practice in, you have to make sure you look after yourself, eating
Yes.
healthy and all that. Yeah, it all goes into that
Yeah.
thing. Once you do the self-care, you can go forth with a lot of confidence, and it's about looking after that and cherishing that and
Yes.
putting it into practice. And if you don't, you end up not feeling connected with yourself. And then once you lose that connection with yourself, you find it. You might you find yourself tapping into your fear, which stops you from being who you really are. And it's so
Yes.
self-care is key to
Yeah.
be performing, and then you get feedback and you work on it like with forever working. It's an ongoing process, isn't it? And I think from where and I understand you feel the same with your performance, that
Yeah.
sometimes to have them tools is really key,
Yeah.
because I think I've lost what I was going to say now. Breathe. Ooh. So what you? Yeah, just like, see, I just needed to demonstrate that, my dears, my darlings, and there we go.
Yeah.
But it's all about nurturing yourself, giving yourself space. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Not giving yourself a hard time.
Yeah.
Like, and
Totally.
pray, like, remember all the things that you've done, because sometimes we forget, and everyone's the same. we forget what we've done, and we're like, oh, you know what? I have not done anything. And actually, you've done like you've been learning songs and you've been
Yeah,
progressing. You
I
might,
think I even think, Lisa, it's quite nice to even write when things do go right, to write them down and even like as a list, have them, I don't know, even on a post-it note,
mm,
scattered around so that when you are having those low days, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that happened, that I achieved that, and I achieved that.
mm,
And also about not feeling bad about yourself. I always, and I also get it
yeah,
when performing that I might make a mistake, right? There's always a chance on a live show that we can make a mistake. You know,
mm.
maybe not even we hit the note right. And does it mean that we're going to be like hitting ourselves, going, "Oh my god, what an idiot! I didn't see." I've literally gone over that, and I think that comes with experience. You just make
Mm,
a, you do make a mistake. You just love yourself no matter what. And I think once you do
yeah.
that, you can also feel that off
Mm.
you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I love that little tip about writing your achievements down and putting them around to so you can see. Oh yeah, actually, I did. Yeah, I did do that today.
You did?
I'm actually all right. I'm actually quite good, mate.
You're having 40 written down. It's amazing. It is because, like you say, we don't really remember all those times, and it's good to remember. It's
And
good to
we
know,
live.
you know.
Yeah, definitely good to know who we are. Yeah, and also like we're living in such a fast-paced environment. Like we're bombarded with advertisement and you know like all this perfectionist like
Mm.
Facebook, Instagram, and like how you have to be a perfect thing, and but at the end of the day need to keep it real and look after each other and make sure and that, that we have to look after ourselves.
So
Yeah.
understand. I think, like you said, with that non-perfection comes the bits where when you are a bit, you know,
Sorry, Tali, you'll have to repeat what you said because a bike just went.
I know.
"Ooh," it wasn't a hair. It wasn't one of them hair dryers. It was a chunky bike.
Just ruined that one now. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's also appreciating and understanding that we all have our mistakes and our, what would you call it? Like, we make mistakes. All right, we're not having such a great day. Kind of like embracing everything about us, the dark and the light.
Mm,
And I think literally that's what it is, the yin and the yang, and it's about embracing that all the time. um, you know, if and yeah, and like you said, if times are low, then if we have a reminder of how far we've come, also, written on a paper or that we can even
mm,
remember or even visually, it's like, yeah, that's who I am, and that's why I am this. Like I have plenty of friends that are not on Instagram and Facebook,
mm,
but they lead really beautiful lives, or they might have kids and they have a beautiful family and they're concentrating on you know, on being their best selves and
mm.
raising the best way they know and can. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a big subject, isn't it? And I'm sure a lot of people are aware of everything that we're talking about and probably more. So,
Oh, look, Carol has said, love what you're both saying. Oh, thank you very
Carol,
much. Oh. Right, so I'm going to wrap it up now. So, if you love what Talia, if you want to look into more what Talia's done, her work, I put in the description below her website. And Talia, have you got any last words that you'd like to share with us?
no, I don't. But I say I don't, but I normally do. Yeah, if you follow me, follow my journey, support me anyway. I do have a PayPal link. If you do like what I do, there's a PayPal link on my website, taliamusic.uk.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm here also to support Lisa as well and look forward to seeing more of your
Thank you.
interviews. with really interesting people, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks,
Yeah.
Talia.
Yeah.
Okay, stay there. I'm just going to put you backstage while I say goodbye to everyone. And yep, hold on. Da, da, da. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Next Sunday, I am back again with, and I have a guest, Daniel Thomason, who is a graphic designer, singer-songwriter, and a filmmaker. So yeah, come back and to be hopefully inspired by us creatives. So wherever you are, have fun being creative, and yes, and bye for now. Bye.